I was recently asked by a friend of mine named Pari Patri, who is the director of the Global Pyramid Society, to do a video about pyramids, about the power of the pyramids. And I hesitated a bit on this because, my field of expertise is working with energy, but mainly working with people and sacred sites. And then it dawned to me, well, pyramids are one of the main sacred sites on the planet. They are one of the most powerful energy devices that we as civilization have built over the planet. And what would I talk about in such a video? Of course, the main questions that arise and that people are thinking of is how the pyramids were built, what were they built for, and how do they serve us now, right? That's the main thing that you think about when you look at such a wonderful construction. Or that's what I thought of over the years as I saw them. Before going into this subject, it's not going to be a long video though. I want to say that I am a holistic therapist, speaker, and author. I've been working with sacred sites, energy vortices, and ley lines for more than 10 years now. And I've been working with people as well for the same amount of time. I've been working with people for actually 20, 25 years, but in therapy for more than 10 years. And that's been my expertise, working with energy, sensing energy, and perceiving how energy can be utilized for healing, for enhancing our field, for clearing spaces, for creating new realities. Over the years, I've been writing 5 books about this topic. 2 more are to come. And I've been working with thousands of people all over the world in various workshops, webinars, conferences, and one-on-one sessions on the same topic. Over the years, I've also discovered that there are people who are nourished by light without the need of taking physical food, and that they are able to harness energy in such a way that their bodies are autonomous. So physical food is not necessary for them. And I've been starting to wonder and research how is that possible and what makes our bodies, as well as certain areas of the planet, have the ability to harness energy in such way. That's why probably Pari has asked me, requested me to talk about this subject because harnessing energy is one of my main fields of expertise. I've been looking at free energy for quite a while, how it's created, how it's harnessed, and what are the devices available so far. I feel humanity has had this expertise on the planet since a long time ago, and I think pyramids are one of the proof on this planet that this was possible, because despite the things that they told us in history books, pyramids are not tombs. They are not places of burial. Things are not, or people are not buried there, right? That was not their main reason for constructions, not their main usage. And the sarcophagus that we see in the main chamber of the Great Pyramid is not at all a burial site. It has a very, very different um, role there. And my view, as well as many other specialists' view, is that it hosted, or it had encompassed in it, an energy device that could fuel not only the great harness energy and fuel not only the great pyramid but a very large area. So in that respect, pyramids seem to have been a device construction for harnessing energy. To this day, if you look at them with your through your third eye, with your psychic capacities, or if someone would measure the field there, we would notice that they're actually transceiving energy, constantly receiving large amounts of energy and emanating over that Giza Plateau. That's why many people have gone there and healed themselves or had very powerful aha moments, insights, consciousness upgrades, and so on. Because on the Giza Plateau, a special energy is being emanated constantly by these energy devices, by these megalithic constructions. There's actually photographs being taken on the site with a stream of energy coming from the top of the pyramid into the Great Pyramid or into one of the three pyramids. So how is this happening? That's one question to ask ourselves. The structure itself being pointed upwards in certain angles with specific, very clear coordinates is made in such way that it can harness and transmit energy. That's why specialists have discovered that pyramids are very accurate, well built, well thought of constructions whose coordinates are not random at all. I have friends in science, in mathematics, in sacred geometry. There are specialists and specialists in history and megalithic constructions and so on that are discovering fantastic parallels between the coordinates of the pyramids, you know, the angles and the various other construction coordinates, and the Vitruvian Man, who's one of the Da Vinci's masterpieces. If you don't know it, my earrings have the shape of that masterpiece. You know, the Vitruvian Man is this work of Da Vinci, who shows a very evolved man, or the next evolutionary stage in human evolution, who is masterpiece containing special codes encoded in the way the square is done, and just a second, the way circle is done, and the way all the coordinates are woven together. That is very much connected in terms of numeral numbers and measurements, is very much connected to the coordinates of the pyramids and to the coordinates of the radius of the planet Earth and a radius of the moon as well. And I'm sure if we were to go deeper into research, we would find other cosmic connections as well between the pyramids, the Vitruvian Man, and the planetary coordinates and radiuses and so on. Because Da Vinci was very powerful initiate. He was knowing these things, and he was aware of the importance of the pyramids and the connection between the pyramids and human evolution, or the next stage of what the human species can be, right? The Vitruvian Man represents the next stage of what human species can be, and the pyramids seem to be helping with our human evolution. Actually, Robert Grant, one of the researchers on this topic, is actually saying that the Great Pyramid is a blueprint in some way of human spiritual journey through the 7 chakras that we have, because they have discovered parallels between the chambers in the pyramids and the chakras of the human energy system. And it seems that in the encoding of the pyramids and in the encoding of the masterpiece called the Vitruvian Man, there are coordinates related to the human energy systems and how the pyramids are helping us to connect better with our chakras, to enhance our chakras, to emanate energy from our chakras. So from my perspective, given these parallels, pyramids have been built to enhance and upgrade our energy system as humans, but as well the planetary energy system, the planetary grid. Um, and that's something to look at deeper, and I invite people to research more on that, maybe specialists who have measurement tools like the Institute of Heart Math, maybe, who could measure the energy field in that area and how it influences the whole planet. I would be delighted to see more studies on this being done by specialists with good equipment. On the other hand, if you are to look at it, the pyramids are, not only constructed in specific coordinates, related to the human energy centers and the planetary coordinates, the sun and moon, the sun, earth, and moon. So sun coordinates, I didn't find any research about it, but I really would love people to do research about this, because I'm sure, and I'm getting guidance that it has very powerful connecting to this as well. So not only has connections these coordinates, but they are in the same alignment as the Orion belt stars are. So that's another important aspect that pyramids invite us to look at. How are they connected to the Orion's belt? Why are they in such a way arranged? And what does this represent as a message for humanity? And how the connection and the way they are aligned is helping people harness energy, and how is this helping the planet? There are other sacred sites that have the same alignment in Mexico, in other areas of the planet. So it seems that the ancient civilizations that have built them have had a very clear um, knowledge of how the stars are influencing us and how to build structures on the planet to be able to harness that influence, to take advantage or benefit from this cosmic influence, that certain stars or even central sun and the galactic sun is having on this planet. So that's another thing to be looking at, as well as why are the pyramids aligned with these constellations, and what's the message behind it, and how the energy of these constellations may be influencing planet Earth and our chakras. And if we were to look beyond Earth, right, in thinking of other civilizations that have helped us acquire knowledge, right, we might say that pyramids have not only been built by human contribution. If we are to answer the next question, we answered a bit about why have they been built and how are they structured, right? The next question of how have they been built is another topic that can be challenging, because again, history books are saying that they have been built with slaves and wine ropes and dragging big megalithic blocks across this huge area that the Giza Plateau is, right across the whole plateau, all over the area from the hills nearby, which is impossible if you are to think of in any way, shape, or form. And so we're invited to look at another possibility, right? The amount of knowledge that the pyramids are showing to have been encompassed in them is not belonging to a civilization that is operating still with horse and buggy and slaves and vine ropes. The actual nowadays technology is not advanced enough yet to build such megalithic structures in such precision. So we could wonder then, how long ago have then they been really built, um, independently of how history books are writing about it, and how have they been built really? What was the procedure? And so that's why it's important to think it through. There were civilizations in the interior of the planet and exoplanet that are known to have helped humanity for a long, long time. And therefore, we might consider that they might have had a contribution to this. Many civilizations like the Hindu tradition and the Mayan tradition and others, it's important to think it through. There were have been reporting collaboration or influence from civilizations that were coming on the planet in either fiery carriages or other vehicles that were flying in the sky and had big light around and so on and so forth. So having these reports from so many areas of the planet that seem to have been connected to some form of higher connection or spiritual connection, as they call it, we might think that we have been long time influenced or guided by something a little bit bigger than our knowledge, right? Maybe an advanced civilization that was contributing and helping to our evolution, or maybe the gods, as they call them. Our perspective is that before the gods or below the gods, there are civilizations that are a little more or much more advanced than we are, that harness technology and knowledge that we haven't come yet to encompass or remember, and that have contributed to the evolution of humanity and to construct this type of structures. I have been guided over the years as I worked with various sacred sites to also look in the inner planes where subtle worlds are dwelling. There are parallel worlds that are parallel with this world, where similar civilizations have similar structure, more advanced civilizations, have similar structures. So most advanced civilizations have this type of megalithic structures, usually pointy shaped. Normally they have either a pyramidal structure or the structure of a dome or a tower, pointing up all the time, because these structures are actually transceivers of energy in these civilizations, in our civilization as well. So what I could see with a subtle vision is that they were harnessing energy through the tip into the center and then emanating it around and transmissioning towards the center of the planet. The same happens with the megalithic structures known as pyramids. They are harnessing energy through the tip into the center. That's why the King's Chamber is so good for healing and meditation. That's why the Global Pyramid Society has built 22,000 pyramids of meditation all across the globe to help people harness and better encompass this energy. And that's why we feel so good to sit in the pyramids and meditate, because they harness energy in a specific way and tend to really store it in that central area where we know to be the King's Chamber, right? And from that area, they emanated around, and then they also transmission it towards the center of the earth. So that's the role and the power of such construction. That's what they do, right? And if you look at it with your third eye or feel into it, if you're sensitive, or measure it, if there's any device to measure that, you would for sure, and I believe that has been measured already, you would for sure notice the huge amount of energy that is in that specific area of the pyramids, the King's Chamber, and in the structure as a whole, right? And how the energy is circulating is also something to look at. So apart from their beauty and their amazing acknowledgement as geographical sites, historical sites, there's an energy value to them, energy harnessing value to them, that is yet unresearched enough, yet unknown enough, right? And there's various theories and there's various books written about it, and documentaries and so on, but nobody has yet gone to the core, to the depth of how they are really, really valuable for humanity. What we're invited to do individually is whenever we get in touch with such a structure, either through the benevolence of the Global Pyramid Society that is building such structures all over the world and making them available for meditation for all people, or by visiting the original, the initial megalithic structures that have been built, we can actually tune in and notice what's happening there and how are they impacting our field. My experience is that by working with such sites, I have experienced healings, I have experienced leaps in consciousness, I have experienced a powerful upgrade for my systems every time I've been going to either the Egypt pyramids or the pyramids in, for example, Pyramid Valley or other places over the planet. And we're not only referring here to the megalithic constructions in Egypt. Mexico has some, and Peru has some, and even Romania has some. And there are other areas on the planet where you can find such constructions. So if they have been built all over the planet, and it's been so difficult to build them in that specific time, they must have had a great value, because nobody starts to do such a strenuous work without a very, very important purpose. And that's something we're invited to consider. Should you want to know more about the pyramids and the coordinates that I was referring to in parallel with the Vitruvian Man and the cosmic alignments, the radius of the Earth, the radius of the Moon, visit Robert's Grant YouTube page and you'll find the video over there in his YouTube, or you can get in touch with him. Should you want to know more about sacred sites and how we work with them, we actually do 2 trips a year, one in India, it's called the Trip of the Sun, one in India to the beautiful sites of Ellora and Ajanta, and one in Romania to the Romanian Sphinx, because we actually have one here that is connected to the Egyptian one. And we there teach people how to be in touch, get in touch with these sacred sites, how to notice the energy movement there, how to harness more energy and upgrade their systems in these sacred sites. So that's part of my job on this planet, to teach people how to work with sacred sites and ley lines, and how to contribute to the benefit of the planet and of the planetary grid, because this planet has a beautiful grid around it of energy that we all work with, and we all get information from and lay information into. Then that's important to know. So should you want more information on this, just visit either my YouTube, Cristiana Eltrayan, or the website soulhealingacademy.com, and you'll learn all about sacred sites and other places that we work with in parallel with the pyramids. And last but not least, there's an important construction that has been built on this planet, an energy structure that the pyramids are part of. So there's an energetic cross of the planet that a seer friend of mine has been referring to in her books. And this energy cross, this cross-shaped structure, has pyramids in all its 4 ends. One end is in Egypt, one end is in Romania, one end is in Sardinia, and one end is in an area around Iraq and Syria. And these structures are actually working together. They are connected energetically and physically by this shape. and they are working as well with other sacred sites on the planet, like Stonehenge or the Romanian Sphinx or the Göbekli Tepe sites and so on. So they're the Machu Picchu sites, the Mexican pyramids, they're all connected together, and they're part of this construction, this energy grid that uh, we call the planetary grid or the crescent grid on the planet. So to learn more on that, you can join my workshops, you can join my trips of the sun, and we can talk more of this, or visit the website soulhealingacademy.com, where various articles are placed about these topics. I'm sending much love to all, and I hope this video has been helpful for you and your evolution. And should you have any questions, just contact me on Facebook, Cristiana Eltrayan, or Instagram at Eltrayan, and you'll get your answer within 24 48 hours from me. Big hugs and blessings to all, and may the power of the pyramids be with you. Big hugs.